Hi everyone, this is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe, and I am here live to take your U.S. immigration related questions. So go ahead and put the questions in the comments right now so that I may answer your questions right now. Let me formally introduce myself. I'm U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe, and I help clients to get their green cards and status in the United States. So go ahead, put your questions in the comments so that I may start taking your immigration related questions. So I'm here every day with very few exceptions to answer your questions. So good evening there. So if you are thinking about the process, you're going through the process, even if you've been through the process, and you have a question, hi there, Shani. Go ahead and put the questions in the comments now so that I may answer, because I know if you've been through the process, you are going through the process, you have that nagging immigration question. So I am here with a topic to talk about, and today I'm talking about green card holders sponsoring their relatives. I get a lot of questions about that, and I want to clear up some misconceptions about green card holders sponsoring their relatives. Who can they sponsor? How long does it take? And what does the process look like? But you can put your questions in the comments. Your questions are my priority. So as soon as your questions come in, I'm going to stop talking about my topic to answer yours. So what is PD mean, ma'am? So you'd have to give me context. So where did you find this PD? Because I am not sure what you mean. So give me some context. Was it on a document, or what document did you see it in, so that I can understand? Hi there, Sexy Bless. Thanks for saying hello. Go ahead, put it in the comments. So what if you have a green card holder spouse or parent? What does that mean for you? If you're in the United States, or even if you're outside of the United States, can you still get a green card? And the answer is yes. However, the process is going to be different, and the length of time that it takes may differ depending on how old you are. What is your status in the United States? Are you outside of the United States or inside of the United States? So let's get started. So if you have a U.S. citizen, I'm sorry, a green card holder, because we're only talking about green card holders today. So if you have a green card holder parent, and you are under 21 and unmarried, or you're the spouse of a green card holder, then right now, hi there, Donovan, it's nice to see you. Right now, children of green card holders under 21 and unmarried, and spouses of green card holders are going through a faster process. So with that, what I mean by that is that right now there's no wait list for what's called an immigrant visa number. If you're not the immediate relative of a U.S. citizen, that means you're not the spouse of a U.S. citizen, you're not the parent of a U.S. citizen who is 21 and up, and you're not the son or daughter of a U.S. citizen under 21 and unmarried. If you don't fall within this category, which you wouldn't if you are the child of, or if you are, if you're a relative of a green card holder, then what that means is that you have to wait for an immigrant visa number. And that, guys, is what takes the longest time, is to wait for that number, because there are only a certain amount of immigrant visa numbers that the immigration office is allowed to hand out every year. And so once they reach that cap of handing out those immigrant visa numbers, then the additional applicants have to go on a wait list. And what is happening now is that the wait lists have become so long that they're now years long, even decades long. However, when you are the child of a green card holder, under 21 and unmarried, or if you are the spouse of a green card holder, there is currently no wait list for that immigrant visa number. Now, keep in mind that could always change, because when that changes is when now they start to get a ton of applications again, and those applications begin to outnumber the number of immigrant visa numbers that are available. And so that's really exciting, because that was not the case before. Now, keep in mind that even though there's no wait list for an immigrant visa number, it still takes about 18 months to 24 months for the whole process to be completed. But the good news is you wouldn't have to wait decades. The process goes on continuously for that 18-month period, where what happens when you have to wait years, the case sits there. It usually sits at the National Visa Center for years until you can be granted an immigrant visa number. So keep that in mind. If you are the child under 21 and unmarried of a green card holder, or you're the spouse of a green card holder, it may very well be the right time to apply, because it is a faster process, and it is a process that could take about 24 months. So I want to make sure that you are aware of that. Now, if you're over 21, right, and unmarried, because a green card holder cannot sponsor their married children, so in either case you have to be an unmarried child. So you're over 21 though, then unfortunately right now the processing time is taking a long time. It's taking 5 to 6 years. So applying through your green card holder parent as someone who is over 21 is not going to be a fast and quick solution. For some individuals, it may be their only option, and by all means pursue that single option that you have. However, expect for a long process, or a longer process. The next thing is, and so green card holders can only sponsor their spouse or their children who are either under 21 and unmarried or over 21 and unmarried. So those are the only individuals that a green card holder can sponsor. Green card holder can't sponsor their parents. So keep that one in mind. That can't sponsor their siblings. So keep that one in mind. Now, what if you're in the United States and you're undocumented, right? I know you have heard, you may not know why, but you've heard that marrying a U.S. citizen is better if you're in the United States and you're without status. And that does come with that is definitely a true statement, depending on who you are to the immigrant, to the U.S. citizen relative. Now, if you are in the country, hi there, Sassy. Go ahead and put your questions in, because I'm here to answer your U.S. immigration related questions. So go ahead and put those in, and that goes for everyone. If you have a question, put your questions in. I'm talking right now about green card holders sponsoring relatives. Who can they sponsor? So I talked about that, and green card holders can sponsor their spouse and their child under 21 and unmarried. Right now, you could be looking at a 2-year process, which is great. Tech T is nice. Thanks for the follow. So it might very well be the right time to apply. Now, the next thing I wanted to, and also green card holders can sponsor their son or daughter who's 21 and up. Now, that's great news, but the next thing is, can you do it if you're in the United States and you're without status? And so that I'm going to elaborate on that one. I think it's important for you to know your options if you're here. How long will the process of a green card holder spouse take to sponsor a stepdaughter who is 17? So in this case, as long as you got married before your child turned 18 to a green card holder, they qualify as a stepchild. So you're looking, and stepchild of a green card holder is treated very well, very much the same as a child of a green card holder. And so you're looking at about 2 years for the sponsorship process to go forward. If your green card holder spouse was supposed to sponsor your biological child. So, Tech T, I need to discuss something. So, if you need to discuss something in detail, definitely give the office a call. There's a scheduling coordinator who's available up until 11 p.m. tonight to take your calls. If you have a question here that I can answer, okay, so Tech T, definitely. If it's personal, call 561-405-4889. Go ahead, call. The scheduling coordinator is going to answer and schedule the consultation. And then they'll help you to confirm the consultation. I sponsored my husband from Jamaica. We filed October 2020. Our first anniversary is next month. Okay, so congratulations, Sassy Move. I'm sorry, I don't know if you'll be spending your anniversary apart. If he's not here at this point, it's very unlikely you will be spending your anniversary with him. But this process for, I don't know if you're a US citizen or a green card holder, but this process right now is taking about 18 months to 24 months. So good luck, and Sassy Move, if you need legal advice, call 561-405-4889, schedule a consultation. If I get married to a green card holder and he applied for me and my son before our stay up, can we stay? Great question, Carlina. Now, no, this is the tricky part, and I think it's very important that you understand it. So while some people don't have a choice, they're already here, then they get married to a green card holder, they want to fix their status. There's the waiver process. It is a more complex process. But what the waiver does, it says you have a green card holder spouse who will experience extreme hardship if you don't get the green card. And so in order, because you won't qualify for adjustment of status. So if you overstay, you will not qualify for adjustment of status. Only spouses of US citizens can overstay their visa and still adjust status. In your case, that would not be the case. So in order to fix it, you would have to apply for a waiver, and the waiver is quite complex, and you do have to make sure you meet the requirements. So the requirement is you have to prove that your green card holder spouse will experience extreme hardship if you don't get the green card. That means he's so dependent on you that if you don't get the green card, he will experience devastating consequences. So you have to really think about that, think about your circumstances, and determine whether whether these hardships are not just inconveniences, but devastating. Are they devastating? Is it to the extreme, more than the ordinary extreme hardships? So at this point, overstaying can actually make the process more complex because of the waiver process that you have to add to the whole timeline. So it can add another year to your process. So you have to keep that in mind. I find that if you can wait it out outside of the United States, at that point, you are better off, and it's a smoother process. And at this time, it's moving faster. So, user Digam, can you please explain the context? I wouldn't be able to tell you what PD is until I know what context you're talking about. Donovan's daddy, my green card over 15 years was taken away because I raised my son in Canada. What should I do? So that is definitely more complex, Donovan. And it sounds like if you raised your son in Canada, that means you intended to stay outside of the United States in order to raise your son, and you're not supposed to do that as a green card holder. And that is why they revoked it. If you stay outside of the country for more than 1 year, with a green card, they are assuming that you've abandoned your green card, and if you try to re-enter the country, they will revoke it. And so there's something called an SB1 visa that can allow you to come back to the United States, but you do have to show that you didn't intend to stay so long outside of the United States, that you continue to maintain your ties. So Donovan's, this is where you need to contact me and schedule a consultation. I'm going to say my number again. It's 405-4889. So go ahead, schedule a consultation. So my husband is here, recently completed his biometrics. How much longer before his interview? So it's right now, the biometrics appointments, they're all over the place. So I wouldn't be able to tell you between the biometrics and the interview. But what I can tell you is that usually the interview is anywhere from 9 months to 18 months after you first apply. And you can also look at the service center that currently has your case, and they will give you a timeline for the specific service center. If you go to uscis.gov, then they will be able to give you a timeline for where it's being processed. So the Cruz Familia, it's nice to see you here. On August 4th, it will be 1 year since we submitted the I-130 out of Texas office and still nothing. So I'm so sorry about this. And yes, I-130s are taking much longer than they usually took, especially pre-COVID. They are going over a year. So just hang tight there. Brian7842, thanks for the follow. Got married after 3 months of dating, visa expired, filed almost a year after getting. Is it a red flag? So, I would not be able to advise you on this unless we're in a consultation to hear the full circumstances. You definitely have to work on your evidence to make sure you can convince the officers that this is a bona fide marriage. But if you married a U.S. citizen, you overstayed, then at that point you can adjust status, but you have to be very careful. So there's the implication that you intended to come to the U.S. permanently. So you have to make sure that you can address that if the officer raises that. And also there is the bona fides, to show that even though everything went very quickly, after 3 months you got married, this is the real deal. So if you're currently married, you have a joint bank account that you use regularly, you share property, you share a home. These are things that you have to make sure you prove with your application. How long does it take for us to get through? Can we still travel back and forth with our visa once he approved for us? So no. So Carlene Prince, it's very important that you understand, especially that you're at the point where you haven't overstayed. Very important you get legal advice, because you don't want to make any missteps. You don't want to end up overstaying and making a big mistake. So what you need to do is schedule a consultation. Now, usually when you are going through the green card process, I hate this question about whether you can still travel on your visa, just because it could be a hit or miss. You could go through and the officer will let you through, allow you to visit your significant other, and then at the same time an officer could be convinced that you won't return and deny you at the border, which could complicate your case. And so I usually say, if it's going to be a year process, maybe your spouse could visit you in your home country until the process goes through, just because you want to reduce those kind of risks, however small they may be. So thanks for sharing the live. So Donovan's, yes, definitely give me a call. Sassy Move, you're welcome. Mississippi Girl 90, thanks for the follow. Victoria Q12, thanks for the follow. So keep your questions coming. I am talking specifically about green card holders today. It's a question I get often. Sometimes I hear people say, that they can't apply through their green card holder spouse or relative, and I am going to clear up some misconceptions and really let you know how a green card holder can file for you. What does the process look like if you're in the United States or when you're outside of the United States? So we are in a bona fide marriage. I had a return ticket I added as proof, but got married due to COVID. Okay, so Varun, make sure that you get legal advice. It sounds like you have some some evidence, but I don't advise specifically. The information I'm giving you is general information. So if you really want to get into the type of evidence that you have and whether it's going to work, call and schedule a consultation. Now, my number is 561-405-4889. You can go ahead, call that number. There is a scheduling coordinator who is available up until 11 p.m. tonight, and also available up until 11 p.m. Monday to Friday. So you can always call on your off time to schedule a consultation when you're ready. So with the process, if you're in the United States and you're out of status and you have a green card holder spouse or parent, you'll have to go through an additional process, and this is called the waiver process, and it's asking for forgiveness for the overstay. The reason it's so important is because you cannot finish your status, you can't finish your green card application in the United States, you must leave to attend the final interview at the embassy. The thing is, if you've overstayed already over 6 months and you leave the country to attend this interview without an approved waiver, you're going to be denied at the embassy and you're going to be barred for at least 3 years. If you overstay over 1 year, it turns into a 10-year bar. The waiver, if approved, gets rid of that bar and allows you, when the interview is scheduled, you can wait in the US for the waiver to be approved, wait in the US for your interview to be scheduled, and when your interview is scheduled, then you can head out to the interview and not worry about a bar being placed on you. So very important that you know this. Hello, my friend which had Cat is here for 5 years now. How can he try to get back his passport for green card? So when he's on CAT, that's not necessary. That doesn't necessarily give him, it gives him protection to stay here because he will face certain death or harm in his country. But it's not going to necessarily be easy to jump from CAT to a green card. He should get legal advice to figure out what his options are, because that is not going to be a simple case. So keep those questions coming. And Alma, I'm glad that you said it's interesting. It definitely is. Some people don't know, and it's good information for you to have. So if you're listening, you're getting this value, you are getting this information. You can really think about it and determine whether you want to explore your personal options. Schedule a consultation with me to talk about whether any of these paths to the green card could fit you. How long after getting married should one start the process of getting the green card? So there is no time limit. You can apply for the green card right after you get married. But you just want to know, I don't know what your circumstances are, and you want to just make sure you get legal advice. So for example, if you entered the country, say you entered the country to get married, and so you flew in yesterday, and then you got married today, and then you filed the papers tomorrow. Say you came in on a visitor's visa. That could raise red flags to an immigration officer, because then they would realize that when you were coming in on your visitor's visa, you intended to get married very quickly and file your papers. So, and that meant when you were coming in, you told the officer at the border you did not intend to stay, and that wasn't true, and that could get you labeled or accused for misrepresentation. So that is one way that you really have to think about your timing. However, generally speaking, there's no time limit. So there's no time limit on when you can apply for the green card. You can apply right after you get married. Hello, how can I adopt a child from West Africa to the United States? So I don't do adoptions. I advise on adoption, immigration issues, or immigration of an adopted child, but not the actual process of finding the child. You will need to consult someone else. hey, my friend overstayed her visa. How can she get an ITIN number to pay taxes? So she can find a tax assistance agent, and they will go ahead and help you to get an ITIN number. They will tell you all the documentation they're going to need to get you through that process, and they'll have to apply at the IRS. So her that USCIS might reach out to possibly applicant for citizenship that they see fit within. I'm not sure. No, usually they don't reach out to applicants for citizenship. If individuals who qualify for citizenship are welcome to apply, and now is a good time to apply. But the USCIS don't usually, recruit individuals to become citizens. Sanjay, you're welcome. All right. Well, I'm going to finish up the topic. So while I'm finishing up, go ahead and drop those last questions in while I am here. So I'm talking about applying for the green card through a green card holder, spouse, or parent. And I talked about the fact that green card holders can only sponsor their Roshana, their spouse, their children under 21, or their children over 21. Right now, the process for children under 21 and unmarried and spouses is taking about 18 to 24 months. And for children over 21 and unmarried, it's taking about 5 to 6 years. Now, if you're here without your papers, it could be a possibility that you could qualify for a waiver. To qualify for this waiver, to fix your status ultimately and be able to finish the green card process in your home country, you will have to show that your green card holder spouse or parent will experience extreme hardships if you don't get the green card. And this also goes for relatives of U.S. citizens who don't qualify to adjust status. For example, if you are the relative of a U.S. citizen and you cross the border without permission, you'll have to get this waiver as well. So once that waiver is approved, it allows you to schedule go ahead to the scheduled interview at the embassy and not face the consequences of the overstay. So that waiver could definitely be a lifeline for those who think that they have no hope. There is hope to fix your status. If you're here and you can't adjust status, you can't apply in the U.S., you may still be able to finish the process. Now, if you're outside of the United States, your spouse, your parent can file for you, and there's no waiver for that because you haven't, at that point, if you're outside of the country, you haven't overstayed your visa, you will not face any bars. And so if you wait out the process outside of the United States, you would simply attend your interview at the right time when they're ready to interview you at the embassy, and then come over on an immigrant visa and become a permanent resident. Right now, the timeline is the same, where if you're under 21 and unmarried, or the spouse of a green card holder, is taking about 18 to 24 months. If you are over 21 and over, and unmarried, you're looking at about 5 to 6 years. So if you have any questions, if you would like, hi there, King and Baby Doll, it's so nice to see you. Now, if you have any questions, you want personal legal advice, give me a call, schedule a consultation. This is not the last time you'll see me. You'll see me every day. I come on about this time when I'm closing out to answer questions. And so follow me, and as soon as I go live, hi there, T. Peters. As soon as Tony Love, hi, thanks for saying hi. As soon as I go live, you can hop on with me. Don't hesitate to just put your questions in the comments. Hi, how can my fiance apply for, so Roshana, you'll have to be a U.S. citizen, and then you would have to petition for your fiance to get a fiance visa. Usually to qualify, as I said before, you have to be a US citizen, and you have to show that you have seen your fiance within the most recent years, 2 years before you apply for the fiance visa. Right now, fiance visas are taking a little over a year. It's the first step of getting through the green card, a work permit. So no, now sometimes when you're going through the adjustment of status and you qualify, then you can apply for a work permit. Work permits come about 6 to 8 months after you apply. So can my fiance apply for a fiance visa for me? So if your fiance is a US citizen and you've seen each other in the most recent 2 years, then yes, that is a possibility that you would qualify for the fiance visa. Roshana, give me a call, schedule a consultation. This is something I do represent clients on. You can call 561-405-4889 and let's talk more about it. How do you know the location of where your case is at? Check processing time. So usually it depends on where you filed it. So there are certain locations that file certain applications, and also if you're going to have an interview, it's at the local USCIS office. So it could be in those two areas. So if you filed your application at a specific location, you can check that service center, or if you know, and so go ahead and check the Nashville. Exactly. So it's J for real. Go ahead and check the Nashville, Tennessee processing times. And that will kind of help you to understand how long the processing times are taking. What takes the shortest time, fiance visa or spouse visa? So right now they're both a little over a year. The fiance visa is a little shorter, but the thing about it is once you get the fiance visa, your fiance comes, you're going to now have to get married. So yes, so it's J for real. It's going to be at case processing times, and then you have to look up the service center. So the spouse visa, once your spouse comes, they become a permanent resident. The fiance visa, they come on a temporary 90-day visa, then you have to get married in 90 days and then go through the green card process. So it depends on how much do you want this to drag out. So keep that in mind. Roshana, you're welcome. So thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. I appreciate your questions. I'm here every day, so this will not be the last time that you get to ask your questions. I'm here every day. So once, follow me. As soon as you see me go live, hop on with me, ask your question. All right, have a good night, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow.